The richest man in the city had everything money could buy, except one thing. His dying father had only one final wish: before I close my eyes forever, let me hold my grandson. But Richard had no idea his son had been alive for 16 years. Richard Collins was one of the wealthiest businessmen in the country. He owned hotels, construction companies, and luxury estates. Yet despite his success, every evening he returned to a silent mansion with no wife and no children. Richard's elderly father, George, visited often. "My son," he said, "I've lived a long life. Before I leave this world, I want to hold my grandson." Richard smiled sadly. "I've searched for love, Dad. It just hasn't happened. I'm a busy man, and you know how ladies behave these days, most of them are after money. It is not easy to find one who is not." George never stopped asking. "Money builds houses, Richard. Family makes them a home." Those words stayed in Richard's heart. One evening, Richard was returning from a business meeting around 7 p.m. when his luxury car suddenly stopped. The fuel tank was empty. His driver apologized and hurried to find the nearest gas station. Richard waited alone inside the car. Moments later, a frightened young woman was being chased by two men. She hid in the woods when she notices a car. She was crying and looking over her shoulder. "Please, they're chasing me. Just help me get away." Richard unlocked the door. "Get in." After some minutes, several angry men asked Richard if he had seen any woman with black hair pass here. Richard said he hasn't. When the driver returned, they quietly drove away before anyone noticed. The woman finally burst into tears. "My name is Sophia," she said. "My late mother became seriously ill. I borrowed money to save her, but she still died. Now the lenders want everything." Richard listened quietly. Seeing she had nowhere to go, Richard arranged a hotel room for Sophia. He promised she could stay there until she felt safe. She couldn't believe a stranger would help her. Days later, Sophia thanked Richard. "I have nothing to repay your kindness." Richard smiled. "You don't owe me anything." The two spent more time talking. They laughed together, shared meals, and slowly formed a genuine connection. One evening, they shared a kiss, and their relationship became romantic. The next morning, Sophia received news that the people she owed had discovered where she was staying. To protect Richard from being dragged into her problems, she left without telling him. She left only a short note thanking him for his kindness. When Richard arrived at the hotel room, he thought Sophia went to buy something outside until he saw the short note. Richard searched for Sophia everywhere. The hotel had no forwarding address. Her phone number no longer worked. She had disappeared. Far away, Sophia discovered she was pregnant. She decided to raise the baby alone. She named him Ethan. Sophia worked tirelessly. She sold homemade food during the day and cleaned offices at night. Her only dream was to give Ethan a better future. Ethan was kind, respectful, and hardworking. He always wondered why he had never met his father. Sophia simply replied, "He was a good man. Life separated us." Years passed. George's health began to fail. His greatest wish remained unchanged. "I only want to meet my grandson before I die." Richard's heart broke every time he heard those words. At 16, Ethan won a national academic competition. The prize included a scholarship funded by the Collins Foundation, Richard's charity. At the award ceremony, Richard personally congratulated Ethan. Something about the boy felt strangely familiar. He couldn't explain why. George met Ethan after the ceremony. He smiled warmly. "I don't know why, but being around you feels like family." Ethan smiled politely. From the crowd, Sophia saw Richard for the first time in 16 years. She froze. She quietly left before anyone noticed. While organizing old family pictures, Ethan found an old photo of Sophia as a young woman. Richard happened to see it. His heart skipped a beat. "Sophia," he whispered, but he could not say it loud. Ethan didn't hear. Richard hired investigators to find Sophia through following Ethan to where he lives. Weeks later, they located her in a small town. When Richard went to the address, he found Sophia selling homemade food. Sophia finally told Richard everything. "I wanted to tell you about Ethan, but I didn't want my problems to destroy your life." Richard stood speechless. He had a son. Richard cleared the debt she owed the lenders. Richard met Ethan privately. "I believe I'm your father." Ethan was shocked. Tears filled both their eyes as they embraced for the first time. Richard brought Ethan to see George. The old man looked at the teenager for a long moment. "It was not just a feeling, we are family," George said. Then he smiled through tears. "My grandson." He hugged Ethan tightly. Richard apologized to Sophia. "I'm sorry we lost so many years." Sophia replied, "It was not your fault, what matters is that we found each other." Sophia and Ethan moved into Richard's home. For the first time in years, the mansion echoed with laughter instead of silence. Richard realized that all his businesses and luxury cars could never compare to having a family. His father's words had finally come true. The entire family gathered to celebrate George's birthday. Looking around the table, George smiled. "This is the richest I've ever felt." Everyone laughed together. Richard and his dad, George, sat together talking about the past few days with his family. "This past few days have been the best days of my life," Richard said. "I told you, family complete a man, now I can rest in peace after I die," George said. "Please don't say that, you won't die," Richard replied. They all laugh. If this story touched your heart, subscribe to Dave's Stories for more inspiring stories. And remember, kindness is never wasted.